What's going on, everybody? JR from JR's Cars. Today, I have two words for you that either people love or people hate. Ford Sync. And if you have a late model Ford with a higher trim package, you more than likely have this system, and you've more than likely had one of these problems in the past. Now, the Ford Sync is a pretty decent system. I like the functionality of it. The problem is we come across some issues, and just in use of the system itself, I've seen this too. Is I have my phone connected to the car itself, and I'll be driving around listening to music on the phone. The music works fine, but then when I get a call that comes in, I try to trigger it by using one of the massive buttons that are all over the place on the steering wheel, and it doesn't work. It doesn't pick up the call. Or in the reverse of that, I'll get a phone call that comes in that I can actually pick up the call, but I won't be able to listen to music from my phone going in through the system. And what I've also seen is just using the audio itself in the unit is you get the four boxes that are in there that you can see the display of everything. And if you click on the entertainment button, it just basically doesn't do anything. You're trying to see, like if you click on the entertainment button, it'll go full screen to where you could see what radio station is, or, what Sirius you're listening to, any of that stuff. It'll bring it full screen instead of the four blocks around the screen itself. And if you click on it, you hear it dinging at you, but it doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't bring up everything full screen, so you can't see the additional options that you have in there too. So it's a common problem that I've seen around the internet. And of course, their first thing to do is to basically just reset the system, kind of like with your computer. Shut it off, pull the plug, wait a couple minutes, plug it back in. Everything's good to go, right? That's the way things work. I should know. I'm in IT. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to reset the system without taking the battery off of the car, because I know that that's one way that they say to do it. If you take the positive terminal off, yeah, it's going to reset everything, but it's going to reset everything in the car. And the only thing that you really want to reset is the sync system, because that will clear out any of these issues. In addition to this, I also went onto Ford's website to see if there was an update to the sync system, and it does show that there is an update to this. So basically what I'm going to do is I'll also show you the process of going through and updating your sync, which it's not overly complicated, but it's something that you should periodically do, because part of these issues that can happen could be just caused to firmware issues. There was a revision that came out that caused a problem that they fixed, and then now there's a new revision. It's no different than your computer in your house, where you get your periodic updates which fix problems that they generate with their updates. So I'll show you that process as well, and hopefully we can get this thing buttoned up, because I really don't want to continue to have these problems. All right, so the first thing you want to do is go underneath the passenger glove box here, and you see these little keepers here. You want to just remove those. There's one here, and there's one right here. And then what you want to do is this little cover, which is basically just like a carpeted cover here. You want to pull that down and get that out of the way. That'll give you access to the passenger side fuse block, and that's where you're going to be pulling the fuse. So now that we're looking at the fuse panel here, you can see that this 7.5 amp fuse right there is going to be the one that we want to remove. We saw that in the owner's manual. That's going to reset the Ford Sync, and it's going to basically, it's kind of like taking your computer, unplugging it, and plugging it back in. It just resets everything and clears out any kind of errors or issues that you have. So what I like to do is just to keep it unplugged for about a minute. That way it fully de-energizes the system. Then you can go ahead and put the fuse back in, and then we'll go back up to the screen, and we'll see what it's going to do here. And now that we opened up the door and sat down inside, the sync is going to automatically run here. You'll see sync on the screen, and then it'll say it's performing its scheduled maintenance, which basically just means that it was unplugged and needs to do a boot up. Now we'll go ahead and turn the car onto the run position. Get the system to turn on. Then it's going to take a second here. And there it is. Now it's all set. You're ready to use it. And all your buttons work again. So now the entertainment, now it goes full screen like it didn't before. So we can hit all these buttons to go through everything. We can connect our phones. Our climate is obviously off because I don't have the car on yet. But now everything is going to work the way that it should. But what I really want to do is I want to do the update to see if that corrects this problem as well. And now to do this, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to Ford's website, and I'll link that down below for you so it's easy. You'll go through here. Basically what you're going to do is it's going to ask you for your VIN number, so you need to put your VIN number in and then check the updates. And then it'll go to the next page, and it'll tell you whether your system has an update that's necessary or if there's no update available for you. Now, as you can see with mine, it shows that there's a sync update that's available. And to the right-hand side of the screen, I'm not going to show it because it has my VIN number in it. It'll show you what version you're using and what your current version is. It'll verify your VIN, and it'll tell you what sync generation you have. This one has a sync 2, and then the version is a 3.5 on this one. So there is an update for it. You want to go ahead and get one of these little flash drives. They're really cheap. They say you should get an 8 gig or above, only because, some of the system updates could be fairly large. So make sure that you get your USB drive, and then what you'll do is you'll click USB drive, and then you'll scroll down a little bit. It'll tell you all the information that you need, going to prepare for it, yada, yada, yada. You want to download your update, and it's going to download a zip folder. So I save that to my desktop already. And what we have is the sync update. That's what I saved here. So I'm going to double click that. These are the files that it creates for you. So what you need to do is you need to take your flash drive, then plug it into your USB port on your computer. And then you'll see here that this is your USB drive. Now, you want to make sure that this is formatted in a specific format that the car is going to see. So go to Properties, and then what you'll see is this is exFAT, okay? This is the file system that the car is going to see. If it's not in this file system, you have to format it. So you would right-click, go to Format, and then in here, you would select, because it could be NTFS or FAT32, you want to select exFAT, and then quick format, and then hit start. We'll do this. I already did this, but we'll do it again. Why not? It's going to erase all the data that's on the disk, so hit OK. Just make sure there's nothing on there you want to keep, because it is going to erase it. It'll tell you the format's complete, and then you hit OK. Then what you're going to do is you want to take those 3 files and you want to copy it over to your flash drive. It's going to take a little bit, so we'll come back when that completes. But you want to take all 3 of them and move them over. So even though we're working on a 2013 Escape, this will work for pretty much any of these Ford vehicles that have Microsoft Sync in it. You just have to find where your USB port is. Now, in this Escape, if you open up your center console, you'll see right there, those are your USB ports. So now that everything's been transferred over to that USB drive, you want to plug it into that USB port right there, and then we'll start the process. Okay, now that the car is turned on and you have the USB file plugged in,
not accessory mode, throughout the entire installation. If you choose to upgrade your vehicle while idling in your driveway, make sure your vehicle is not in an enclosed space such as a garage during this time. Additionally, always make sure airflow under the vehicle is not blocked by tall grass, snow, or any other obstruction.
She tells you what to do. So go ahead and hit the OK button. It's going to install the file. And the process may take a little bit. And there it is. Finished updating. It's going to restart. The screen will go blank for a little bit. Don't worry about that. It's the same thing as even when we unplugged the fuse in there. The screen will stay blank for probably a good 30 seconds to a minute, and then it'll actually come back online. So now at this point, it's pulling the update from the USB device. So now this portion will take a little bit of time. So obviously, it has a lot of information to pull. So as you can see, it's not really going all that quick. So we'll give this a little bit of time, and then we'll come back to it. And here we are about halfway through it. That probably took about 3, maybe 5 minutes. So wasn't really that bad. It seems to be moving a little bit quicker now. One of the nice things that I see is that as soon as I plugged in the USB port, it automatically started to do the update. Yeah, there you go. So system's going to reboot now that it's 100% complete. Like I said, the nice thing with this one is that it automatically triggered the installation. So now it's just going through the scheduled system maintenance. Like I said before, it was similar to what we did when we unplugged the system, unplugged the fuse, and then plugged the fuse back in. And of course, with this, you want to still keep that USB flash drive installed in the system. Now the system is restarting again. And don't be afraid, it will probably do this a couple times on you. Let it go through the whole process, and once it's done, it'll tell you that it's done. As you can see, the last time it did a reboot, it said it was installing file 1 of 10. Now it's 1 of 9. It's going to continue to do this and then restart. And you can see in here that the flash drive is doing its thing too. So that process took a little bit of time. That was probably about a good, another 5 to 8 minutes that I was saying it was on installing 4 of 9, and then it ran through 5 of 9 really quick and went to 6 of 9 and then restarted. So like I said before, just don't worry about it. It'll eventually, it'll eventually start moving again. And while you're waiting for that to complete, why not check out the rest of JR's Cars videos? The process starts up again. Now we're at 1 of 3.
Congratulations! You have successfully updated your sync software to Gen 2 version 3.7. Please do not remove your USB device until after you press OK on the final installation complete message. After this message, then take your USB device and return to your sync owner account at www.syncmyride.com/support to confirm you have updated your software successfully.
Why, thank you very much. So now we'll hit OK. It's going to finish up. Installation was complete. Hit OK again. And now we are back to, let's go home. We are back to normal. Now, earlier in the video, I said that this was version 3.5. This was upgraded to 3.7. So hopefully this resolves the problem. So like the audio just said too, now that that's all done and we're squared away, we want to shut the car off, shut the radio off, open and close the door. That's going to complete the finalization. And then what you'll do is you'll take that flash drive, you'll put it back in your computer, and there's going to be a file on there, an XML file that you're going to need to upload to your Ford account that you have, that I showed you earlier in the video, which is where you're going to actually pull your update from. You'll upload that XML file to your Ford account, and then that will update the system to show that you have the newest version available. So I hope this helped you out, and if it did, do me a favor, smash that like button, drop your comments down below on the Microsoft Ford Sync system. I hope everybody's staying safe, happy motoring, and I will catch you in the next video.